Hey, what's going on? Good afternoon, people. This is Locked. I wanted to start another video today. Just want to make sure that everyone understands this is not about anyone else but me trying to fix my own issues, trying to, attack my mental health, make sure that I'm right going forward. Definitely don't want to leave my demons to my son. So yeah, just want to make sure that everyone understands it's not about anyone else. I'm not bad talking to anyone. I'm not talking bad about anyone. I'm not, trying to drag someone's name in the mud. Like I said, it's just about me. With that being said, I really want to say I don't really want to talk about my mother or my father. I kind of want to talk about how I've been affected and what the ways that I've acted, I've acted out and things like that. So like I said, when it comes to the being well, having a feeling of rejection and, abandonment and everything like that, it causes some things. And to be honest, I'm actually starting to realize that there are so many more people out there that's being affected by certain things that they grew up with, ways that they were raised, things that happened to them, in their past and everything like that. Even some things that's happening to them these days. There's a lot of things that's going on that's basically affecting people's, mental states. And I'm actually realizing that. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I thought that I was the only one that all of this was happening to, because I know it wasn't. I guess it couldn't get to me as quick enough to realize that, there are people that I know, that I have personal relationships with, friends, otherwise, associates, whatever, that go through similar stuff, or maybe not necessarily similar stuff, but they go through things that affect them, in ways that, they might need medication, they might need, counseling, therapists or whatever the case may be. But some people don't go and get it because I think the way I felt for so long, I think I didn't want to tell my business to people like that, especially someone I didn't know. But I was afraid to talk to people about these things that I'm feeling because I really couldn't put a word to it. I couldn't put a definition to everything I was going through. So, like I said, for so long, I was afraid to get help. I was afraid to kind of talk to anyone about what I was going through. I think other people go through the same thing, obviously. Sometimes people can't even figure out what's wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have, you might have a support system. You might have parents that love you, obviously. You have siblings and friends that love you. But to kind of take that extra step to get them to understand what you're going through, it's one of the hardest things to do. Because, like I said, getting a therapist in the first place was so hard for me to do. Because I keep everything bottled in. I've always been that way. And what comes out of that is, I've always been angry. I've always, lashed out at people. That's why I think that's why it's hard for relationships with females to work out. For women, I'm sorry. Relationships with women, it's hard for me to work out things with them because I don't like vulnerability. I don't like being vulnerable to anyone. I always want to, basically stay, rough and rugged, or, I always want to be strong, and, I don't want to seem weak and everything like that. But I think part of being in a relationship with women is, showing that vulnerability, as long as it doesn't turn you into something totally different than what you usually are, or who you usually are. I'm sorry. So I think, and I'm starting to realize how important it is, and why, communication with me and women, especially anyone I was in a relationship with, trying to get a relationship with, ending relationships with, why it's so hard for me to just communicate and just kind of say how I feel, or offer other, avenues of conversation or other avenues of thought, or whatever the case may be. Because when it comes to feeling rejected and feeling abandoned, it's almost like I felt like every move that a woman was making towards me, or every little thing that a woman did or didn't do towards me, I felt like, okay, I'm going to be rejected, so let me just, shut down. She's going to abandon me, let me just shut down. I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to even go through it with this person anymore. So I was always quick to just be that type of guy that just, didn't talk, didn't want to communicate, didn't want to tell, people what I'm feeling. And I know for a fact I messed up a lot of relationships because of it. And I'm going to take the onus to that, because I know I've messed up a lot of relationships. Now, a lot of relationships I didn't mess up, wasn't really my fault, but I know where I messed up in a lot of relationships I had, and it was basically because of, communication. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to express myself, because I felt like expressing myself made me look weak and made me look like a punk. Now, obviously, there are so many people that figured that out. That's why you see 15, 20, 25-year marriages and relationships and everything like that. But I never figured it out. I mean, I'm starting to figure it out now, because, who wants to be alone? Who wants to be alone for the rest of their lives? Like, I've been so comfortable being by myself, and because because I was by myself for so long, I didn't have to share my feelings with anyone, obviously. I didn't have to, have these conversations that, women and men have to have. So it's just one of them things that, hinders you from being a complete person. And I'm sure that's what hinders me, or has been hindering me to being a better, better man, a complete person, able to share, ideas, able to, communicate on a higher level. So that way, at least, women know what you're thinking, because you say it, you express it, and you're not ashamed or afraid to express it. So, like I said, this is the things that did happen to me. These are the things that, made me feel a certain way, because, I didn't know how to deal with, my issues. I didn't know how to deal with, figuring things out and talking to, women in my life. It's easier now, because I feel like it's important. It's a must to communicate with women, especially ones that you want to be in your life, or ones that you're related to. My sisters, I have to learn how to communicate with them. My aunts, whatever, I have to learn how to communicate with them. Even when it comes to, if you work for someone and your boss might be a woman, you have to learn how to communicate, because, like I said, my fear of rejection and abandonment, it caused me to not want to communicate with any woman on any level, for the most part, especially when it comes to things that I'm thinking and things they want to know, and communicate in the correct way. So it's just one of the things that I have to figure out, and I am figuring out little by little. But like I said, this is one of them things that now that I'm figuring that out, I'm starting to realize why it's been so important this many years, and I'm starting to realize why it never worked out with me and other women. Some people say that anything you say or do, or how you act towards people, you choose to act that way on your own. And if you say something like, look, I was having issues so long, so many years, it was affecting me in certain ways that was causing me to act that way. Some people don't believe that. They're like, you didn't have any mental issues, you didn't have any problems, you didn't have no mental health issues, you just wanted to be an asshole, you want to be this person that treats people badly, and then later on use the excuse of it. And that's not even the case. I've went through some horrific stuff growing up, and so many things are still kind of bottled up, but eventually they'll come out. But one of the things I will say, that my grandmother that raised me from 6 months old to 16 years old, dying in front of my face, was one of those things that shook me to the core. You know, I don't wish that type of thing on anyone. You know, seeing someone that important to you die right in front of your face and there's nothing you can do about it. So like I said, that shook me to the core, and it definitely changed me for the worse. I really believe that I was in a depression after that for a long time. I do feel like my son being born brought me out of that depression, but I still felt the hurt. And honestly, I did feel abandoned from her passing away, but I'm not blaming her, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm blaming her for dying. You know, that's crazy. I don't blame her for dying. I mean, I understand, you know, she was going through certain things and she wasn't getting any better. She was getting sicker or whatever the case may be. So I'm not blaming her, but because of what I was already going through in my mind, I felt like she abandoned me because she passed, and I was so angry after she passed, and no one understood that. I felt like no one wanted to help me. No one wanted to help me, you know, get past that anger, because that anger did last for a long time. Even after my son was born, honestly, even though on face value, I believe the depression was over, but still there was still some internal things going through me that made me still angry, you know, and I didn't know how to address that. And it took me a long time to really feel and realize that I was still angry for a long time. And, you know, working these things out, you know, basically is helping me address all of that. So that's it for today. I just want to make sure that, you know, also I want to say that, you know, I created this channel because I wanted to figure out how to get better and feel better about myself, and basically, you know, look at everything that I'm saying, record my thoughts, and just kind of see if I'm helping myself. And then on top of that, I really want to help others. I really want others to express to me, you know, what they're going through, what they're feeling, you know, how they're feeling, you know, because mental health is a serious issue. And if we can get over this hump, which is mental health, I think we all can be better people. We all can be better, you know, to other people as well. So, like I said, you know, if my channel offers people that courage to just go ahead and, you know, take that first step to getting help, talking to someone, I'm willing to definitely help people and help anyone, you know, get past that first step. All right. So again, I hope you people get something from it. I'm signing off. Thanks for listening. If you listen, that's weird. I know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy your day. I'm out. 1.